Recording. Okay, so hi everyone. We have the huge pleasure of having today Krista. Hey, hey.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So, just for the ones that really don't know her, Krista, I don't know if you want to do a
Sure,
presentation.
sure.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
Krista Staub. I am a MAPS coach. I've been a MAPS coach for 6 years. I was also a productivity coach for 10 years in a market center here in the US. I was in multiple market centers, so I coached two market centers to bring in pretty equivalent to company euro would be right around 600,000 company euro in the market centers and per year. I would right around 15 cappers a year, which on ours it's a lot less, probably right around 20,000 euros a year in company dollar per agent to create cappers. Also, recruiting. I love to change lives. So I loved getting awards because I would recruit so many to my downline, yet to the market center. So last year I brought in around 136 agents and 30 cappers last year, working as an interim team leader. And before that, as a productivity coach, I would bring in roughly around 80 agents a year. Growth to me is one of I love to coach, but without growth, my coaching, I didn't do as well as if I knew that growth solved everything. So I've been in the business for about 25 years. I know it doesn't look like I have been, but I have. Yet, yeah, the learning, I will tell you, coming with KW about 15 years ago was a total game changer, because I will tell you, if I was with those competitors now, I probably wouldn't still be in the business, just because, I mean, the way that you grow your mind in this company, as Gary says, it's not about selling real estate, it's about the journey. And when you realize that this is about stretching your mind. This is about being somebody different, who you want to become. You can be anyone you want in this company. And so that's just a little bit about who I am.
Cool. So, so we have quite a range of audience today. I was just looking at the PCs that are here present, and we have, I guess, everything from Anna that has just joined 2 months ago, to Maria Jose, which has been with us for 10 years, I think. So
Okay.
we have all this range of people and experiences. Now, one thing that I do hear a lot is some struggling from PCs in getting the agents to do the things that they need to do. I mean, whenever I ask, okay, what are your challenges right now? Typically, the response uh, goes around, how do I motivate my agents to do what they need to do? Because, they commit and then they don't do. And then it's just me, chasing them with a stick. And that's not good. That's not healthy. That's not, nice to anyone. So I typically say, well, you don't. The answer here is, if people are not committed, then you know, we should coach them out of the business. But that means getting new people in. And that's, in my opinion, the biggest challenge. Typically, we still have a lot of market centers that have recruiting machines through social media, etc. And sometimes most of the times, to be very, very honest, the quality of our candidates is not that good, and the quantity is not that high, meaning that we as PCs are stuck with dying people. So here's the big question: how do we change that? And girls, PCs, please join us in this conversation. This is the conversation. So jump on with your ideas, your questions, your challenges. This is not about me. This is about you. So let's start.
Can I go back and talk about something that you just said about you can't go around and hit them with a stick to get them to do what they want to do. The first thing to learn as a coach, and everyone on here is a coach, correct? Because whether you're a team leader, whether you're an ATL, whether any position you're in, anywhere, you're always a coach. And the first thing to learn, if I can teach you anything today, you'll never make anyone do what they don't want to do. So tell me what you think about that. When I said that, I saw some smiles and I saw some head shake, and I've got to change my view because I lost all the views of everyone.
That's the truth. Yeah, and by the way, let me just say one thing in Portuguese. Se não se sentirem à vontade para falar em inglês, ponham no chat, está bem que eu traduzo, tá? Vamos aproveitar este tempo.
Did you repeat what I said? Oh, okay.
Sorry. No, I just said, if you're not feeling comfortable speaking in English, put it on chat on Portuguese and I will translate, but please do participate and engage into this.
Okay, and I will talk slower. What I said before was that you'll never make someone do what they don't want to do. And the number one thing as a coach to remember is the power of questions. What questions, and I know that any of you that were at family reunion and you're probably like, yeah, we heard this from you. It didn't change. It's the same thing. Is you've got to ask questions. People will not do what they don't want to do. It's just like you. How many of you feel as though, and I'll go back to how we help people realize, yet how many of you love to recruit new agents? Okay. So how many of you like to go out there and fish for new agents and make calls or message them? All right, Carolina, did I say that right? Okay.
Yes, I do it every day. So
okay, great. And so we can't grow our PC business if we're not bringing in, just like we were saying that you need quantity. The quality is in the quantity. If we're not bringing them into our program, what's happening to our program?
Gonna fall down.
It's going to fall down. Yeah. Because just like what Marta was saying is that, the quality is in the quantity. If we can't beat them with a stick to do what they want to do or what they're supposed to do, those were Marta's words, not mine. And they're going to get out of the business. If they're not getting into production and they're not selling houses, how many of you get them staying for 5 years? Oh, they do still stay, even though they don't sell. All right. Sylvia? No, they don't stay. For on average, do they not stay? Because they got into this business to make money. Would you all agree? And so if they don't, and we have a program, who has the largest program here? Like number count of agents? 55, 100?
I think that the biggest group is 70.
70. And so if we have 70 in our program and there's 5 that just left and there's 5 that left, and now all of a sudden our program is getting smaller and smaller, we have to replenish those people. And it doesn't mean that we don't love and care about these people. It just means that this wasn't the right industry for them. And we've got to bring in new talent, because when you bring in 10 new agents into your program, you're going to be lucky if all 10 of them stay. Because let me ask you, what if they don't make money? What does that do for you?
We don't make money.
Okay, you don't make money. And I'm not saying that we aren't leading with our heart in here, yet they're not making money. You don't make money. And they're not living their life by design. How are you living your life by design? And this is the growth part, because we've got to replenish, because growth solves everything. So let me ask you, what are your limiting beliefs? Go ahead.
So I have two questions on the chat. Okay. So firstly, you just mentioned that questions is one of the most powerful tools. So in your opinion, what are the fundamental and non-negotiable questions to do? So this is question number one. And then secondly, given that the majority of candidates don't have a financial stability before they join us, so they don't have, this
Yeah, I
piggy
get what you're
bank,
saying.
okay, to stay 2 or 3 months or 4 without making any money. How should we solve this to recruit with quality and not quantity? So these are the two questions.
Okay, so one with questions, the question is, first off, what's the reason you got into the business in the first place? So we lead with questions because the one that's asking the questions is doing the bonding. Does that make sense when I say that? That you're building the relationship with this person. The one that's asking the questions is controlling the conversation. And remember that the person that's sitting there, whether it's they get into this business for freedom, fun, and financial. The 3 reasons people get into real estate. What do you think the number one thing is when you ask them is? And ask your people this. What did you get in? Freedom, fun, or financial? Which one do you think they're going to say?
Financial.
Financial.
Freedom.
Freedom. Now,
there's no freedom without financial independence, right? So
exactly. But they leave this job and they say, I'm getting in here for freedom. Okay, well, now as the coach, I've got to find out, well, what does freedom mean? Does freedom mean that I get to stay at home and do nothing all day long and not make money? Or is it financial freedom? So then what does financial freedom mean? And fun will find its way. So it's, what does freedom mean to you? Well, it means that I could do this. Well, then work has to come in. So go ask that question to the people that are in your coaching. I bet you hear it's freedom. And you have to, with the questions, you have to dig 3 levels deep. So as I said, they said freedom. So what is the one thing that got you into real estate? Freedom. Great. Well, what does that mean to you? Because do we all tie a different meaning to the word freedom? I bet everyone on here had a different meaning when we said freedom. And it's not our meaning, it's their meaning that we have to discover. And we've got to dig deeper into that word. Is this helpful with the questions? And I did say it, I don't know if any of you were when I was on family reunion, and I talked about asking the questions. What else do I need to know about this situation? What else do I need to know? And the reason that I always asked that of myself was because I needed to know more. So what does freedom mean to you? And they say, well, it's taking my kids, to the doctor when they can go to the doctor. Blah, blah. And now I'm going to dig deeper into that. So what is important about taking your kids to the doctor? Well, I mean, we say that and you're like, well, Krista, come on, they have to take their kid to the doctor. But no, that ends up being their excuse. Does that make sense? And so when we learn to coach and ask questions, who gets better? You do. Because this is about who you become. And when you become the best coach, what happens to your recruiting? Gets better. What happens to your PC program? It gets better. What happens with your relationships outside of work? They get better. And so when it becomes you becoming the best version of you, everything else in your world gets better. The number one investment is you. If you're not investing in yourself and making the best version of you, how do you make the best version of the people in your coaching program? And this is the questions part. How are you practicing questions every day? Tell me what you're hearing me say. Or tell me if this isn't helping. Remember, Marta said, this is an open forum. We can participate. Or, hey, Krista, I don't know where to get started. Was this helpful at least? Okay. So the questions. The other thing that I do, and I don't know, do you guys have a group? Do you have a WhatsApp together where you're all talking in there? Can I offer a challenge for you all? Yeah, you're like, no, tell us what it is first. What is this? And I do it with my clients in the US, and they have to send me a question every day. And I know if they send me a question every day, because we've got to train our brain to ask questions. So not that I need to load up your WhatsApp, yet it's a way for you. Has anyone heard of the 66-day challenge? What does 66 days do?
Creates an habit.
Create habit.
Habit. You don't have the habit right now to ask questions. Now I'm not saying everyone here, yet if you haven't trained your brain, you're not asking questions. Now, the power of questions, and I call to say, hey, Tanya, it's Krista at Keller Williams. I was just curious, how is your business going? Who's helping you grow your business? And now I'm asking questions. Does it make the recruiting call easier? Because who is talking during this call? The other side. The same with your coaching. If you're asking the questions, who's doing the talking?
Okay.
Your client is. And they will never know that they need to go lead generate until they realize that they need to lead generate. So you as the coach are planting the seed. You're just planting the seed. They decide when it grows. It's the same thing with recruiting. Well, they hung up on me. Well, you're just planting a seed. Call back 3 months from now. Call back a month from now. They're going to know who you are. They decide when it grows. Does that make sense? It's a very quiet group. How do we apply this? Are you seeing this different as I'm saying this?
Opinions. We need opinions and participation. So shy away from your limiting beliefs.
Now, some of you were in that room at family reunion with me and you spoke a lot. Now, what's happening? It's open. There are no wrong questions or no wrong statements, nothing. If you could get one thing out of this call today, what would you want?
I think I will take ask me a question every day, a different one.
Okay. I love that. So you want to do the challenge of
Yes.
asking a question every day.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Okay, so let me ask this. Because of like recruiting or calling people to change people's lives in the recruiting side of it, what is your biggest gap? What holds you back from doing it? And I know, Carolina, you said that you do it every day and that you are strong on the recruiting side. So what holds you back from doing it? Is it fear? Because here's the thing is what we put off is what we attract. What we put off is what we attract. What does that mean to you? Mariana.
Hi, hello.
Yes,
I was playing shy, so.
I know.
Yeah,
You
I
haven't
think-
spoken. Sorry, I had to turn off my heat.
Well, I was thinking that the main issue here, and please forgive me, this is only my opinion. I think the mindset of the productivity coach might be a little bit wrong, because we don't hit them with a stick, but we are very oriented. Instead of making questions, making the rules, you have to do this and this and this and that. So that's what you get.
So you get where you feel like you have to hit them with the stick.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone
I
else?
think, yeah,
Go ahead.
I think sorry, desculpa, Sandra. I think we are teach like to be a support for everything and not to
Okay.
make questions, like Mariana told. We have to be the
Support
support
for everyone. You have to be
everyone
all
every
things.
day. If they work, if they don't work, if they do the activities or not, we have to be always there for a support. And some of them don't deserve the support because they don't do the activities. And we can make questions, but they have to grow alone.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, they decide when they want to grow.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
we are always there trying.
Okay. And I get that because that's not only happening in Portugal, it happens in the United States and Canada, it happens everywhere. You are their rescuer. You've got to stop rescuing them. It's just like when I asked a question and no one responded. I just sat there and listened and just in a pause. Allow the pause to do the heavy lifting. There is power in that, in silence. Yet, if you're going to constantly keep rescuing them by answering their questions, being there when they need you, it's the expectations. What clear expectations have you set with people? Because we teach people how to treat us. If you're answering calls at 10 o'clock at night, what do you think just expectation you just set? It's okay to call me at 10 o'clock
That
at
we
night.
are always available and we have
Right.
another life.
Yes, you're always available. And then when they're like, oh, they didn't answer their phone, I'm going to call the team leader and tell them they did not answer their phone. Yet who said that? You did. You did. It's the same thing when I go back to you put off what you attract. Who you are is what you're attracting. So now if you're answering the calls at 10 o'clock at night, what did they expect that they need to do in their business?
They can call us every time they want.
Exactly.
And they can't.
Well, and now their clients are calling them at 10 o'clock at night because they're like, oh, my coach answers at 10 o'clock at night, so I must answer at 10 o'clock at night. And now we have burnout. So what are you putting? Are you setting the boundaries? Who are you? Who do you have to become that you're attracting agents from outside the market center to want to come to your PC program? Within the market center, who wants to be part of your PC program? Who are they attracting? Because it starts at the top. And who's the top of the PC program? Does anybody have a mirror? Get it out and look at yourself. Or just look at yourself in the Zoom. You're that person. So the people that I coach, I always come back to expectations. What are your expectations? What are the expectations of the people in coaching? Right now, it's the expectation is you answer that call at 10 o'clock at night because you said it. And now go back to, who are you? Are you doing everything in your business? So how many of you have to recruit in your business in the PC program? So not everyone. Growth, it's not expected.
Sorry. Can you
What?
repeat, please?
Yes.
The question, yeah.
Recruiting. Are you expected to recruit being a productivity coach? So almost everyone is expected to, somewhat. Now, let me ask this question. PC program, do you own it? Basically, not that you physically own it, but is it yours? Yes? Okay. So we all know what McDonald's is? Does everyone know what McDonald's? You have McDonald's? What if no one was coming in your door and you all owned a McDonald's and nobody was buying hamburgers from you? What would you need to do?
Find new one.
Go find people to come in the door, right? There's nothing different than a McDonald's versus a productivity coaching program, except for it costs you a heck of a lot more money to own a McDonald's than it does to start a productivity coaching program. Yet you can make more money in the productivity coaching world than in any other position in this company. But it requires you to go out and fish. Because as you said earlier about the quality, who are you bringing in? What's a good amount of money? Because I had brought it up one time to somebody and I said 100,000 euros. And they said, no, Krista, it's not 100,000 euros. Maybe on average, people make about 60,000 euros. Am I right on this? So if we went outside of Keller Williams, outside of real estate, and I was to say, go out and find people that make 100,000 euros a year and bring them into real estate. Is that possible? Yes. Because Gary Keller says to say in the US, go out and find people that make 100,000 US dollars and get them into real estate. What would be the reason he would say that? This is the pause that I talk about. We talked about early not having financial stability. And how do we get people in here that have financial stability, that they can invest in this business? So Gary says to bring in, have somebody that makes 100,000, they're going to get it. They're going to get that this is a business. Are you treating your PC program as a business? Are your agents treating their business as a business? All right, I'm going to stop and I want to hear what you have to say. What questions do you have? Because I don't want to talk at you. And I feel like I'm talking at you, and I want to make sure you get everything out of this call that you can get out of it. All right, go ahead. Sandra.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Can I go a little bit back because you said so many important things. I speak for myself. Every market center, every PC has their own reality. So on one hand, we need growth, but we also need to make the people that are with us to grow. So otherwise, they won't stay with us, or we have a kind of occupation for many people. What we have, at least I have some people indeed that pay their fees each 6 months, and they come to the dinner parties and sometimes whatever interesting a red day, they like to do it, but that is it's okay. If the market center accept this, it's okay, but they're not on my program, right? They are linked to me, but they're not in the program, right? This is clear. Then we have, of course, people coming in, different people, rookies with experience from other real estate companies, different kind of people, a lot of dual careers, a lot of part-times, people that are living far away from the market center, people that have problems, then financial problems to come to the market center because this is a cost for them. On one hand, of course, I clearly understand, and I think every one of us, the importance of asking questions and what is coaching. However, in the reality, we have this pressure that sometimes even we put this pressure on us to help some of these people to not lose them, because we have to be more commercial direction, telling them at least at the beginning what to do, sometimes even to go with them, do the activities in some cases. Otherwise, we want to make them productive and we'll lose even more people. As we are then to make this growth movement with us, we have to work with our people to get growth share leads and or profit, reference from people they know to get into eventually into Keller Williams. Concerning the recruitment, I say this or everything, and then you can all comment or not. Concerning the recruitment, it is not everyone is doing it. The ones that are doing it, to do it right, and you said yourself, I took this, we have to plan, to take time. If we go selling Keller Williams on people, we will make them all go away. Well, because it's about making a relation, especially if with people that are already on the market, or these people that are making the 100,000 euros that we want to bring into real estate. I cannot come to them and in one approach, I will bring them. Maybe I can do this in each 100 contacts, but it is also a time. It is a work that has to be done correctly with time, adding value, showing them what is the difference to be with a coach, to be on a coaching program, what is the difference to be at Keller Williams. And all this is, it's a lot to do for sometimes one PC.
Yes. Okay, and I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying any of it is wrong. We can't make people do what they don't want to do. And so when we spend so much time with this person that we don't see, and then all of a sudden they're calling me, and then they show up and then they disappear, it's in the consistency. What are they willing to do consistently over time that's going to lead to massive transformation? And it becomes, who are they? And it's the same with you. When you become the best version of you, You're going to be able to recruit. You don't have to go talk Keller Williams to everyone because they're going to relate with you. The relationship is going to get bigger. The same thing within your coaching. You can't make these people do what they don't want to do. Yes, you can plant the seed. They decide when it sprouts. And that's the reason we ask the questions. You know what? I'm going to plant the seeds here. You decide when it sprouts. Doesn't mean that I don't love and care about you. Yet what it means is that when you're ready to go, I'm here, but not when you're not ready to do this. Because what happens is it's leads, listings, leverage, right? The MREA. The brain cannot wrap itself around a listing presentation. It cannot wrap itself around a buyer consultation until we can physically put it with something, which is that lead. Does that make sense? And so we're spending time. Now, don't go to your OPs and TLs and say that Krista said, quit teaching. But if we're spending so much time teaching and they're not going out and getting leads, how do we help transform them? Oh, do we have team leaders in the background that are listening to this? How do we transform them if they don't want to go out and get leads? Because, and I brought this up this morning to somebody and I'm like, Portuguese, I can learn it, but I can't wrap my head around it because I have no one to practice it with. I can listen to certain things because there's nothing physical there to help me. It's just like them. They can practice it all they want, but they've got to do mock listing appointments with someone sitting across from them in order for them to connect the dots. And so, yes, you can plant the seeds, yet if they don't want to do a mock, does that make sense when I say mock listing appointment? Meaning that they go out and they get a friend and they say, hey, let me do my listing appointment for you.
Like a role play.
A role play type, yes. Yet they get somebody other than you or somebody different than the coaching program, and they can now wrap their heads around it. It's the same with you. You may not be able to wrap your head around coaching and asking the questions if you're not practicing it with other people. It's the same with recruiting. Diana, that was on stage at Family Reunion, her husband, he would always say, he's a famous coach. He's well known throughout the world. And he will always say that as a coach, prepare to listen. Get up there and prepare to listen, or get them out there and practice. Who is their role play partner? Do you as a coach have a role play partner? No? Anyone? How do you get better at coaching if you don't have a role play partner? How do you get better at anything you do if you're not practicing? Because there's models in coaching. Are you learning the models? You may learn them, but are you practicing them? And now when we get better at the models, we get better at recruiting, we get better at coaching. And now those people that are calling you at 10 o'clock at night, you've stopped that because they're not calling you at 10 o'clock. They're asking during the day. And everyone in your coaching program, Diana taught us this, that they have a 10 on their forehead. Everyone that walks in that you want to beat with a stick, they still have a 10 on their forehead. That's Marta's in case this video goes anywhere.
It's just let me just rephrase the chasing them with a stick. We are not chasing anyone with a stick, okay? We all know that. It's just that sometimes we get the feeling of having to do that. We like slapping somebody on the face because we are so frustrated.
Sometimes we would like to.
It's the frustration, coming into the way of us really don't know what else to do. Is that what I I mean to say.
Well, and it's because you care so much about this person and you want them to do something. And that's that 10 that you put on their forehead. We identify them as a 10. So everyone that comes and sits across from you, they're a 10. The only one that takes it off their forehead is them. They take it off their forehead. And it's because they don't do anything. And yet everyone that sits across from you, they may not be real estate agents, but they may have something somewhere else that they will thrive in. And as you had said earlier, coach up or coach out. That's a team leader and OP thing. So that goes back to them if they want you to coach them out. It's hard to coach somebody up that does not want to be coached up. Mariana.
So again, Martha was saying about the frustration. I think again, it's the main issue is the productivity coach mindset. Sandra was saying that sometimes we have to nurture them, we have to do things with them and for them to learn or to get them doing things. I don't know any company, any other position in the world that we have to do something for them. To make them do it. So I think it's our mindset that is wrong right now. Really wrong.
When you say that you have to do something for them, what do you mean by that?
I think Sandra was saying, and I interpreted that way, that we have to help them going to a meeting or help them going to a listening. I think it's that, right, Sandra? Sandra Hartman? Yeah. So I think, and there's no other company, right? Do you know one?
It's not doing for them. Maybe you got me wrong, but of course it's doing with them. If they don't have experience, this is something that I know we can change. If we get senior agents to get a kind of mentoring, or if we get this kind of program, still I don't have this yet in my team, on my micro center. So indeed, sometimes in order to go from the learning to the then we do role play, and then they go on the real play. They need support on the real play at the beginning, and yes, I do that sometimes, because if they need and I don't get nobody with experience to do that, it's the best call I have to, or the best chance we have to make them get in the listing or whatever. Yeah, that was what I meant.
So here's the thing is, what is the major sport there? Is it football? Are they professional football teams? Like that's, you've got to be picked to be on that team, right? If you don't like what you have, what's the reason you're not going out and picking your team? It's your team. Do you identify them as your team? Well, if your weakest player is on that football team, are they playing every inning or every quarter or every half or whatever? Are they playing? Is your weakest player playing? They're probably not. Yet you're allowing your weakest player to define your program. Who are your top players? That's who you pour into, because the cream rises to the top. People grow into the conversations we create around them. If you're constantly coming down to the lowest player on your team, what happens to your team? It's your standard.
Yeah.
Take those people that are pouring into their business and move them. Put them in a group by themselves. Now everyone wants to be part of that group. Does that make sense?
Sorry, Krista, you mean to separate them?
Yeah. Yes, separate.
Okay.
You would never put somebody that's doing 50 million euros a year. You're going to put them in a group with somebody that's doing 2 closings a year? Probably not. Now, you can bring them in and you can say, you can listen. You can't talk, but you can listen to this group. What changes by doing that?
I think some of them will try to grow up and some of them will leave.
There you go. Does
Krista,
yes.
sorry,
Yeah, no,
Carlos.
go ahead, Carlos.
I believe that this also has to do with our own expectations, because we believe that everybody will be someone will succeed.
Yeah.
The same way that even their own expectations, because when they talk with somebody, they put so much pressure in the contact, in the lead. Well, one contact will have to be one business, one commission, and it doesn't work like that. That's the point. So we need to understand that we are doing, some will work, some will not, because sometimes, honestly, it's the same with them. They are afraid of failure. That's why they want our support, and they want us to go with them. They want us to tell them what to do, instead of thinking that if I go there by my own, I will face the reality, I will know what will happen, and after that, okay, I didn't win the match, but I know what I can do in the next time.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe that when Marianne also talks about the mindset, it has also to do with that, because what is our own expectations? It can't be the same for everybody. It cannot.
Well, it's your expectation of you. What do you want? You know, and it's just like, well, I have people show up and then they disappear and they show up. Have anybody had that? Is the expectation when they come into your program, do you say, okay, if I text you, I expect you to text me back or WhatsApp me? Or do you say, so if I were to ask you, if you text me, what do you expect of me? So then what you expect me to text you back. So then what's different? Nothing. It's just setting up clear expectations because it's rude. I'm sorry. You guys are a very nice country, but even in the United States, we think it's rude. But sometimes you miss a text, but that's the clear expectations that you're setting up with them. If you're not going to come to coaching, text me. Let me know you're not going to be here because I care about you. I just like you were saying, Carlos, I see that I want them to do this. So these are what I expect of you. And this is what you can expect of me. And letting them know the minute they walk into your program, giving those clear expectations. Is that helpful? Because I'm not saying that we don't pour into people, we do. Yet, and I think I brought this up while I was at Family Reunion, a coaching leadership council. Does anyone have one in their program? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Do you want to explain? Because I'm not sure everyone knows what that is. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same thing as an ALC. Are you all familiar with the ALC? The top 20%. The CLC is your top 20%. They may do teaching for you. It's leverage. They may help out that agent that is very annoying, that keeps bugging you. And now you pour into that top 20%, just like we do with the ALC. they're basically, they have your back. And they know that, hey, Jose over here wants to leave the company. And now we can intercept. Because they're feeding you information, because they're your eyes and ears. Because as you said, we can't be everywhere. What are your thoughts about the CLC? I see mouths move. I don't know if it's just you're talking to yourself, or you think you're off mute and we can't hear you.
Excellent idea.
Excellent idea. Thank you.
You explained that idea on the family reunion when you were with our group.
Yes.
And I think I remember that you explained also that we have to create another, inside our team, we have to create another PCs that can go with our program also. That helps also.
Leverage.
Yes, leverage.
Mm-hmm. You will win with leverage. And leads, listings, leverage. And leverage is found everywhere. You just have to open your eyes to it. Who is your top performer in coaching? Do they want to eventually be a team leader? Maybe they want to be an OP. Or are you just coaching them where you think they need to be as a real estate agent? Maybe there's something more in there, but we didn't ask the questions to find out. We didn't really, hey, you know what? I see potential. Can I give you an example here in the United States? Me as a coach is in a market center. I had this guy, great guy, still friends to this day. He was never going to sell any real estate. And to this day, he's never going to sell real estate. Yet there was more in him. So I said to him, I said, well, why don't we create, he likes to run around in his car, go to all these different places. And I said, why don't you be a showing specialist and start charging people to open up a door? And so that way a buyer's agent, or you have like 5 buyers you're working with, he could go open the door. So he started charging people. And now that's what he does. He puts lock boxes on the houses. He puts signs out. He opens up doors for a fee. And that was his wheelhouse. That's where he was good. That's where he thrived. But that 10 never came off of his head. It still doesn't. Because the 10 wasn't in selling. The 10 could have been he was a good team leader. The 10 could be that he was a good OP. The 10 could be he was a showing specialist or something else in the real estate world. So know that each individual person is different and they're not all going to fit in the same mold. You as the coach have to discover what they're good at. And that's why we care about each individual person as an individual, not as somebody that has to sell real estate. Go out there. There's leverage to be found. Go build your bench. Who's on the bench to be the next coach? If you want to go 5 levels deep on a team, you better start building your bench, because you can run this just like a 7-level team in the MREA. That now you're the top coach and you've got an organizational model that you're now sitting at home drinking tea while the team is running. Not that you want to do that. I don't know if you drink tea or not. Yet it's building it out. Have you looked at yourself as a mega team? You should be the #1 team in that market center. Are you? Okay, I guess you two are. This month. Does that change the way you look at this? Is this helpful today? You're in control of you and only you. What does this program have to look like for you? And then bring in those people that support your goal. And they may not be sitting in your market center. They may be at Century 21. They may be at a competitor. And they don't know about you. One more thing before we have to end the call. Video. Are you advertising yourself? Video. Did anybody do video this week? Okay. Did you send it out? You've got to get it out to your competitors. They don't know about you. They don't know how wonderful you are. They don't know how you love people and you want to help people. As Gary says, we don't tell our story enough. Are you telling your story? Get it out there. All right. Any questions before we go? Anything, any takeaways? I'm coming back because you were all more talkative when I was there.
On a 101.
All right,
This
three
is,
takeaways.
well,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say that having you here is a huge opportunity. So, you know, don't let any question untold. Just go ahead.
Any ahas? What are you going to implement? Because it's not good if you don't implement it.
So I'm going to get one of the colleagues that is on the call today and do the 66 days challenge. And every day we will send a question to another.
Okay.
Who wants to be my...
I'm in.
Okay, Sandra with Sandra.
2. You don't get better till you get to different.
2 different, so we need a third person, please.
We
You can ask
we can do
Mariana.
a group beside the PC group,
Or with
Okay.
we.
3 or 4 or 5, but because if the contest is only that one, more people, more ideas, more questions will show up every day. Yeah.
Only questions. We just send questions. No other thing on this group. Only good questions. Every one of us that is in the group send a question. That is the challenge. Thank you, Krista.
You're welcome. I also want to let you know that at 10:30 Central in the US, it's, I think, 4 o'clock your time. Is that right on the conversion? 10:30, it would be 4:30, 4:30. And some of, I know Tanya and Jose's people get on that call. It's one of my clients. He's out of the LA, out of California area, and they do a role play call. And you're all welcome to get on it if you would like. And you can, I know Monica out of Alpha, she said, when she got on, I know that Richard had told me, she said, this is just like what we do in Portugal. So there was not a big difference between our role play and your role play. So I can send that to Marta and then she can send it out to you. It's on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just listen, because you can change. It starts with you. Has anyone listened to Jim Rohn? Does anybody know who Jim Rohn is? Well, he's a motivational speaker, and I'll send a video to also, and then you can send it out. So start with you. When you become the best version of you, everything's going to align, but it starts with you. All right. Anything else you want to add before we go? Okay. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I love being here. I trust that you get something out of this call, and I look forward to the next time I'm asked back.
Thank you so very much, Krista.
Thank you. See you all later.
Okay. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista. We love you.
We do. We do.